Forum on Human Rights Education with young people. Or by young people?
With young people.
Yeah, with young people.
European Youth Centre Budapest has been working in designing, implementing, developing this human rights education program for the last 10 years. We hope that this week will be the occasion to really take stock of our achievements and develop the perspectives for the futures of this program.
So it's this meeting together very different experiences from Europe, but also from other parts of the world. I mean, from Pakistan and Chile, and of course from the Council of Europe member states. It's this meeting of diversity that I think will make an exciting, enriching group.
The key part of the forum where participants actually have the opportunity to contribute and to build what the forum is based on. So this for us is the essential part, that the outcomes of these groups will build the future strategies on human rights education.
Non-formal education is not the opposition to formal or informal, it's one of the types of education. And non-formal education is what is very important to know, it's a planned educational activity. So non-formal education has a curriculum, has objectives, has educational objectives, has a program.
Les principes d'apprendre et de faire un échange des expériences pour organiser et agrandir la capacité d'activité dans l'éducation des droits humains.
Yes, it's really that. Through looking at what we have been doing, learning from what we have been doing, seeing what we need to do, and from that coming to some conclusions about how we should do it.
It is our aim in that forum to provide young people, girls and boys, young women and young men, with equal opportunities and experience which enable them to develop the knowledge, skills and competencies to play a full part in all aspects of society.
It's actually the institutions involved in the human rights education who are disabled. These institutions have been deaf, dumb and blind. You haven't heard us, you haven't talked to us, you haven't seen us.
Communication is created in events like that, and particularly also the exchange and very creative ideas are coming out by personal meetings. They are not just created by reading books. It's a choice.
My name is Aziz Chowdhury. I am from London, United Kingdom. I am representing an organisation called the Enzyme. It's a voluntary sector organisation or an NGO.
My name is Anna Dobrovolskaya. I'm coming from Russia. I represent here Youth Human Rights Movement, the international network, and I'm 23 years old.
My name is Ines, and I was working in an interreligious and intercultural dialogue.
Rana Bilal Ahmed, and I'm from Lahore, Pakistan, the second biggest city in Pakistan. I work for a local organization called Youth Alliance for Human Rights, and we are responsible for translation of Compass, the manual for human rights education with young people in Urdu, the national language of Pakistan.
Okay, so my name is Bruno, I'm French. I'm a 22-year-old human rights activist, and what I do is I'm in the board of a youth organization called IGLIO, which is the International Gay and Lesbian Youth Organization.
That we would like to consolidate what we already have done and learned as well within the last 8.5, 9 almost years of doing human rights education within the Directorate of Youth and Sport, and then looked also in view of youth policy and also the priorities, the new priorities for the Directorate of Youth and Sport, how we can go on basically with human rights education in our directorate and also beyond in the whole Council of Europe basically.
Yesterday I was a rapporteur on a group that was discussing the challenges, issues and lessons learned on human rights education, and it was a Russian-speaking group. There were people from 9 different countries, mainly living and working on a post-Soviet area, in the countries that were like Soviet Union, most of them. And we discussed the problems, the challenges, and our practice on human rights education, and also our relations to human rights issues. But mainly we focused on instruments that are provided by Council of Europe and how we can use it in our work. Is it effective? Is it efficient or not? Which are good and bad practices? Which are positive and negative sides, and so on. And the conclusion is that very many people really use instruments provided by Council of Europe, for example, as compasses, national and regional training courses, and also the pilot projects, but they are of course available not for the whole community of countries from post-Soviet area, because some of them are not members of Council of Europe, and that's why they can use only very limited.
Basically, we started on exploring the concept of social rights. There were different proposals, and finally we decided to enlarge the concept, also including the economic and cultural rights. So after defining the concept, we could move on and share the best and worst practices, how we see the implementation and how we would like to see. And we realized that there are lots of challenges we're facing. At the same time, it's also inspiring, because it's us who are here to educate other people and to start action and to empower other people to start action.
Council of Europe should reinforce the provision of education activities in human rights education open to every person, including European, national and regional training courses.
First one is gender mainstreaming should be given more attention to human rights education, specifically formal, informal education, because it concerns everybody.
And Council of Europe should facilitate and provide guidance in the Member States to implement the provision of the Charter by supporting the development of a national action plan for human rights education
that are not educators on gender and gender-based violence plus LGBT issues.
Okay, for institutions, we are proposing or recommending to use sports and arts and to organize and encourage more artistic and sports activities for human rights education.
Youth NGOs make organizations homophobic and stereotype-free, beginning with changing internal policies.
Yes, the Council of Europe should review its funding criteria for sustainability.
The Council of Europe should review its funding criteria for sustainability. Welcome. Is this it? Yeah?
We should promote intercultural and student-centered learning.
We should promote intercultural, student-centered learning activities.
So we, the participants at the Forum on Human Rights Education with young people, with and by young people, living, learning, acting for human rights, met at European Youth Centers in Budapest and Strasbourg from 15 to 17 October 2009.
In teaching in schools, in teaching outside schools, in making this possible. Without this, the Council of Europe is lost as an organization and human rights are lost in the future.
What we can recommend for the future of human rights education?
It's basic for everything what is related to the human being.
Well, I work in an organization, so we organize different conferences, study sessions, seminars where we deal with different topics of human rights education, social inclusion, intercultural learning, gender equality, and so on.
Ouais, en 3 mots, en 3 phrases de 3 mots. Ouais, plus de justice, plus de liberté et le respect de la dignité humaine.
And please. Yes! Ah! Fantastic! Oh! Beautiful! And what we need